Okay, page 437. So, if I have a graph, so we're going to talk about slope, which is a rate of change. It's one unit over another unit, okay? So if I have a graph that measures distance and time, all right, and we know that, is this in hours? So at 1 hour, I've gone 40 kilometers. And after 3 hours, I've gone 120 kilometers. What is the slope between those two points? Or what is the slope of this line? We have 2 points. So we can use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does it matter what you call set 1 and set 2? No, as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to call this set 2 and this set 1. So y2 is going to be 120 minus 40 over 3 minus 1. $120 minus 40 is 80. And because that is distance on the top, that's our y value. Those are kilometers. And the bottom is hours, so 3 minus 1 is 2 hours. What's 80 divided by 2? 40. I'm going to write it right here. And the units are kilometers per hour. So, what does the slope of the line tell you? If I said distance over time or kilometers per hour, what unit of measurement is that? It's your velocity, right? It's how fast you're driving if you're driving a car, okay? So the slope of the line is, in this case, if it's distance and time, it is velocity, all right? So this is where slope gets used in upper level sciences, etc. And we're just doing linear lines here. Slopes of curved lines, you need calculus to actually solve that, which is where calculus comes into play, all right? And you can do slopes of other graphs and get the acceleration. And then if you want to know how fast something is accelerating, the acceleration of the acceleration, that is called the jerk. And then there's the snap, and then the crackle, and the pop. And those actually sound really like somebody is obviously playing a game when they name them, but they actually have the applications in engineering and things like that. So if you go on to take calculus, not in high school calculus, but university calculus and engineering, you will learn about those things. All right. So we know that the distance is increasing at a rate of 40 kilometers per hour. All right. Basically, the slope of the line just tells you how fast things are changing. The change in the y over the change in the x. So we're not going to do that one. We're going to skip to the next page, page 438, please. All right. Can you calculate the slope of this line, please, for me? Here's your formula. Do we have the slope? Negative 0.1 liters per kilometer, or 10 over 100, or 1/10. And the units are liters per kilometer. Liters are on the y-axis, kilometers are on the x-axis, or the distance. What does this represent? Why is it negative? Let's start with that. It's how, sorry? Yeah, you're driving a car, you're using this much gas per kilometer. All right, it's a negative slope. Okay. Determine the equation of this line. So this is just like all the other stuff we did. We have a line. We know the slope. It's negative 0.1 liters per kilometer. That's a really bad. There we go. There's our slope. M is negative 0.1 liters per kilometer. How can I figure out the equation of this line? This is y is equal to mx plus b form. How am I going to figure out the equation of a line if I have points and a slope? The point slope form. Which is that. Does it matter which point you use? No. Okay. Pick one and tell me what the equation of a line is. Rewrite it in mx plus b form, though. Please. Are we ready? Negative 0.1 x plus 52. Plug it into the formula. There's your m. Pick an x value, 20 and 50, multiply it through, collect your like terms. That's the equation of the line. They wanted it in this form. Now, I don't care on a test, but because they're talking about distance and number of liters, they use the symbols N and D. D is distance, N is the amount of fuel you have in your tank. Okay, so I just changed the Y, which is on the Y-axis, the N value, and distance is the X-axis, so that's why I changed it, the X to a D. But it's the exact same equation, they just changed the variables. Is that okay? All right, almost last question. We get paid a base salary per week plus commission for selling electrical appliances. Last week he sells $3,500 and he earns $620. This week he earns $680 and he sold $4,250 worth of equipment. All right, we need to plot this and then answer a bunch of questions. So, oops. Okay, where's the his sales are on the bottom here. So this is the 35 and the 4250. So just pick a point. There's 3,500. There's 4,250, and he earns 620 and 680. I'll just space them out just so you can read it. All right, there's our line. 620 and 680. Okay. Can we calculate the slope of this line? We can, because we know each of the x values, we know each of the y values. You could literally just do a triangle. Whoops. You could just do a triangle if you wanted to. Or you could use m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It doesn't really matter. But m is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I call this set 2 and this set 1, my y2 will be 680. My y1 is 620. It's going to give me 60 over 750, which is, if you write it as a decimal, 0.08. And this is in dollars and dollars. So there's actually no units on this. Okay? So the slope of this line is 0.08. What does this line represent? The slope of the line, I guess I should say. What does the slope of this, what does 0.08 represent? If you sell something on commission, do we know what that means? No. So it means if you sell, I don't know, $100 worth of stuff and you get 5% commission, you make $5, right? So what does 0.08 represent? The what? I can't hear anything. The commission, but what would you say? How much does he earn per sale? Not 0.08? That'd be very little. So he'd make, who said? 8%? You're making 8%. If I say you make 8%, you know what percent means? In terms of math. I know we know what percent means, but 8% per, do you know what a cent is? Not a penny, it's 100, right? A century is 100 years. So this is 8 out of 100. Whoops. That's why you get 0.08. 8% is 0.08. So if the slope of the line is 0.08, he's earning 8% commission on every sale. So he earns 8% commission on every sale. There should be a second M. Yeah. No. So the slope of the line is his commission rate. He gets 8%, which is, I just answered D, 8%. There we go. Okay. Let's figure out the equation of this line now. So we know the slope is 0.08. Number one, find equation of the line. All right. I know the slope and I have 2 points. What form do I want to use? What equation? Point slope form. Pick either point, it doesn't matter. So Whoops. So this gets multiplied in there. That gets moved over, and you get 0.08x plus 340. So how much does he make if he sells nothing? No. $340. Right? If he sells nothing, no sales, that means X would be 0, right? He sold absolutely nothing, so he'd be left with $340. Therefore, his base salary equals $340. Per week. I guess that's per week. Whatever. Okay. Is that okay so far? It's the same stuff we've been doing. Now we're just applying it to a word problem, really. If you scroll or look over at the next page, I guess for you, here's our equation. Stop moving. Here's our equation. All right. If he earns $486, how much did he sell for the week? How much were his sales? So if I say he earned 486, is that his Y value or his X value? It's the Y value, right? Because on the graph, those are his earnings. So he earns 486. That's Y. 486 is equal to 08x plus 340. How much in merchandise did he sell? Go. How much did he sell?
Is it around 415?
No. Sold $1,825. Okay. Move the 340. You put 46 in for Y. You move the 340 over, so you subtract it. You divide off the 0.08. All right. This is the same stuff we've been doing. Now we're just adding another level to it, which is just translate the words, plot them on a grid, figure out your slope. That's pretty much every question. Put it into y is equal to mx plus b form, using either, well, you're probably going to use the point slope equation. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. You get all the formulas. Okay, I will give you every single formula. You don't have to memorize any formulas. All right, you need to know how to use the formulas, but you don't need to memorize them. All right. Here's the questions I would like you to do. Number 1. Number 4A to H. And Number 6. 148H and number 6, please. And that is it for the unit. Once we've done those, I will give you